So a lot of you have had great results promoting your music on Spotify with Facebook ads with a worldwide audience. But a lot of people have asked how they can target like just the USA or just in general kind of more like higher economic status countries because they have interest in either touring or maybe they want to sell merch. And you're going to have a hard time selling merch to someone. Well, one, the shipping costs across the world, and two, some of these countries, the general populace can't afford the prices that you might have, never mind the shipping. So I've done some strategies to kind of try to figure out how to more effectively market in the US that I think you'll find helpful. So let's just dive right in. I have my song Chains, which is my most recent song. I've been slacking getting another song out, but before I ran a US campaign, just US only in an ad set, and I got like 17 cents per conversion. And that's the best I've ever done with the US. And so what I did is I did another campaign where I'm just targeting 5 countries and I'm getting 16 cents per conversion. I'm targeting the US, Japan, Australia, the UK, and Canada, I believe it is. Let me show you the details. So if I go to up here and I just type in Chains, this is how you kind of clean up your timeline or your list of campaigns a little bit so you can see what you're working on. This button here is the breakdowns list. We go by delivery and country. We can analyze the cost per result in this column and the number of results for each country in this column. So we can see the US, 19 cents per conversion and 53 conversions. And that's pretty good for the US. In the past, I've had trouble getting it. Like the US would always be like 4 to 5 times more expensive than my worldwide. For Chains, the worldwide audience was, I think, 10 cents per conversion. And this is only like twice the price, not even 1.5 times the price. So what did I do to get that? Well, I'm going to show you a little bit about like how I set up my campaign, just so for you new people can see how I do it. But at the end of this video, I'll link to the details on how you actually do it. So let me go through that first, and then I'll cover like what I did in this campaign to optimize it for like these more expensive countries. And it's very simple. So first, let's click create. We'll go to conversions, and we're going to click continue. Make this new campaign. This is going to be a dummy campaign. Of course, name it. I always run with campaign budget optimization, put some kind of budget you're happy spending per day. And next we go into the ad set. Make sure you choose your conversion event. That's critically important, and also make sure it works in Events Manager. I have a video for that. I guess I'll link right here. And aside from that, we're going to go to the audience section. So we're going to put in whatever countries you want. Typically, in this case, we're talking about more expensive countries. So you could just do this with the United States, but put in any other ones you want. Ages, this I just go with whatever my target demographic is, usually expanded by a bit. So like 18 to 50, sometimes we'll do 15 to 50, 18 to 34. It kind of depends on you and your music. But the part we're going to play with is the detailed targeting section. So here, we're going to go to Spotify. And you could also do Apple Music if you wanted to include those people as well. Apple Music is a pretty good platform. Don't pick employers unless you have a very interesting strategy. Then we're going to do narrow audience, and we're just going to pick a target artist or a or genre, the chain smokers. Let's go with them. So if I turn off detail targeting expansion, you see I only get 360,000 people. That's really not big enough for this kind of campaign, at least what I found. It never goes well with that small of an audience. So when I have that small of an audience that's less than a couple million, I always turn on detail targeting expansion, at least in the past couple months. And now, honestly, I kind of almost always use detail targeting expansion, but now we get 37 million people, which is a lot bigger. Now, the way detail targeting expansion works is it's going to look at not just people who like the Chainsmokers. It's going to look at people, they're going to say, like, well, people like the Chainsmokers, they probably like this artist, and maybe this brand, and maybe they all have this age range in common, stuff like that. And they're going to target them as well, which broadens your audience. We went from 370,000 to 37 million. So we went up by a factor of 100. And most of the time I found that's a great expansion. Sometimes it doesn't work as well, but I found it very useful targeting these like specific countries. So now let me show you how I kind of set this up and change, and a few other useful tips after I mention this video's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people. Explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity. In particular, they have a bunch of courses on marketing, but also they have ones on Facebook ads, Google ads, and a bunch of stuff if you want to just kind of envelop yourself in this marketing world that you're embracing at the moment. It's curated specifically for learning, meaning there's no ads. They're always launching new premium classes. You can stay focused and follow wherever you're creating creativity takes you. And it's less than $10 a month when you book an annual subscription. So one really cool thing about Skillshare is they don't just pick people who are from like colleges or other things like that. They pick people who are like doers, people you might have already seen on platforms like YouTube, people that you're already familiar with in most circumstances. Like when I was perusing through the courses, I found people that I've seen videos for. The only difference was their courses were much more fleshed out than the stuff on their channels. Another cool thing, the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a free trial of premium membership so you can explore your creativity. Back to the video. All right, so now let's dive back and I'll show you what I did inside of Chain. So first of all, I'm gonna click this X so I can get rid of the filtering. I'm gonna click here, go back and clear the breakdown so I clean up my view. And I'm just gonna click this campaign and delete this campaign. You don't need to see it anymore because I'm not gonna publish it. If we go into Chain, I'm gonna click it. Let's go from the campaigns to the ad set tab. And you can see I only made one ad set. Normally I do more than one, but in this one, I just wanted to just test this one and see how it went. So I'm gonna click the edit button so we can dive in. I can show you what I did. A lot of this stuff is what I always do, but here I added these 5 countries, pretty rich countries that I know have the power to like buy stuff if I wanted to try to sell them some merch or do something like that in the future. I did 18 to 34, my exact kind of target demographic. And in this case, I actually forget to put in Spotify, Apple Music. This was just a mistake. There was no strategy behind this. But the cool thing is I mentioned in a podcast in the past where if you don't put in anything here, since you're using a conversion-based campaign that uses their machine learning algorithm, you could put nothing here. You could do worldwide and put nothing in. And as soon as you get enough conversions, Facebook will just correlate the types of people that'll figure it out. It's kind of crazy, but it kind of works here. You can see I'm getting good cost per conversions. Why would someone click this on Spotify or Apple Music if they didn't have Spotify or Apple Music? Of course, Spotify and Apple Music are huge, so it's likely that I'll find some people, but I'm going pretty damn broad. 160 million people with no targets for what type of platform they have, and they're still converting, which is a kind of proof of that fact. But put in Spotify and Apple Music because you'll save yourself some learning in the process. But I just put in pop music, very broad, and I turned on detailed targeting expansion for all the reasons I listed before. Now, when you're doing a single country, I'd recommend using that. I consider trying it and seeing if it works better for you worldwide as well. But when you're doing like specific countries, I'd say pretty much always use it. But next, let me show you the placements. Because in my last Facebook ads video, I was using automatic placements. And that went well for me for like 8 campaigns in a row. It worked great for a bunch of students, a bunch of consultation students, a bunch of people in the course. And then one day I started getting messages of people saying, hey, this like ruined my campaign. And then all of a sudden some of my campaigns stopped working. So now I don't use automatic. And the problem was audience network. So let me just show you what placements I'm currently using. This changes every couple months. So just kind of always test and learn. I'm using Facebook news feeds, Instagram feed, Facebook video feeds, Instagram Explorer, stories, and in-stream. Some of these other ones you could use, but definitely just make sure you avoid audience network. If you hear some fluffing around in the background, that is once again the beautiful dog. So yeah, anyways, if you found this video helpful, there's a whole playlist right here about Facebook ads and promoting your music on Spotify using it that you might find helpful as well. A lot of the stuff we talked about in this video is explained more in depth in those videos. Thank you very much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. And if you like this stuff, make sure to press like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss an episode. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.